Tonight on Sky News at 10, the huge blast at a fuel depot in Hertfordshire. 3 explosions rocked the plant early this morning, sending a ball of flame and smoke into the sky.
More than 60 million gallons of fuel have gone up in what's thought to be the largest fire in the history of peacetime Europe.
43 people have been injured and the damage to property is extensive.
Thick plumes of smoke visible from space quickly spread across southern England.
More than 2,000 people have been moved from their homes. The police advice is to stay indoors.
And tonight, the fires are still raging at the plant. The operation begins at midnight to extinguish the flames.
Live from the Sky News Centre, this is Sky News at 10 with Alan King and Kevin Owen.
Good evening and welcome to Sky News at 10. A huge fire is still raging tonight after a series of explosions at an oil storage depot.
43 people were injured, 2 seriously, after the blast at Buncefield depot near Hemel Hempstead in Hertfordshire. At midnight, 150 fire officers will begin to tackle the blaze using special foam that's now arrived on site.
It's going to be a long job though. The fires could still burn for another 24 hours. Sky's Paul Brennan reports on the day's events.
The blast, just minutes after 6 a.m, shattered the peace of a frosty Sunday morning. It ripped through Britain's 5th largest oil depot and woke people from their beds more than 40 miles away. As police hurriedly cleared the immediate area around the site, the fireball rose more than 100 feet into the air, and thick, acrid smoke turned the morning sky orange and black.
Let's go, keep going or you'll be arrested.
Footage from a Sky News viewer even captured one of the secondary blasts. Tanker driver Terry Hine had arrived at the depot minutes earlier and had noticed something wrong.
I could see in between the tanks and it just seems like so much. It looked like smoke just coming out the side of one of the containers. But where I've only been there 6 months, I didn't know. I just thought they might have been cooling off the tanks or whatever. And the guy from the Texaco drivers and that started walking away toward the gates, telling everyone to get away. And then all of a sudden we heard all the alarm bells ringing in the terminal, and we must have took 5 or 6 more steps, and then there was just a massive explosion. All stuff was flying past us, and we did run. We really did run. I've never run like that before.
First light revealed just how badly the surrounding area had been devastated. Cars and houses battered and broken by the blast wave.
I didn't know what it was. I thought we were being burgled. I've grabbed, as daft as it sounds, I've grabbed a golf club, run outside because all the alarms were going off with the cars, ran outside, and then I saw the smoke and the fire. And of course the other neighbours started coming out, and then the realisation that there had been a massive explosion just hit us.
Out of my daughter's bedroom, the flames were, which is right back over there, the flames are massive, and we didn't know what was going on. Thought it was a bomb or an aeroplane going down, or we just didn't know.
Just went and bang. It sounded like something. Sounded like a missile or something. You know what? It wasn't, but it sounded like there was a big whoosh and a bang, and that was it. Frightened us all.
The camera of a police helicopter shows just how intense the inferno became. On the left of the screen here, one of the main storage tanks burns uncontrollably. And to the right, other units on the same site, also engulfed in flames. Fire chiefs warned that further explosions were not just possible, but likely. Dozens of residents from the neighbouring area of Leverstock Green have been evacuated to a leisure centre a safe distance away.
We thought we'd been broken into because we went downstairs and the whole of our patio door, it was all like, all the glass was shattered, it had been blown in. And so it wasn't until we went outside until we realised that it was a fire. Like the whole sky was just orange.
We went down into the lounge and the fireplace had blown out into the lounge. The landslider doors had blown off their tracks. All the doors were blown open.
That no one died has been described by police as miraculous. Had this been a weekday, the staff here would have been ripped to shreds by flying glass. Thankfully, at 6 a.m. on a Sunday, These business units neighbouring the depot were deserted. Deputy Prime Minister John Prescott has been meeting with the emergency services and has praised their response to the incident. Fire crews, though, still face a daunting task to bring this blaze under control.
We have a team of our own fire experts, including experts from the oil industry, on working out a plan of attack to actually tackle the fire.
Could hit my straps at the right times. And to Neil Fairbrother and Chubby Chandra at ISM for their support, voice to phone up and a listening ear when I needed it, because there were times throughout the summer which I did need that. Also my mum and dad there in the audience tonight. Thanks very much for your love and support. My wife, who's there, obviously she gets the brunt of it when I come back, good days, bad days. She's the one who's always there for me, along with my daughter Holly, and I really thank you for that. I'm looking forward to seeing you in just
events. The Buncefield fuel terminal in Leverstock Green near Hemel Hempstead is the 5th largest oil storage facility in the UK and a major distribution terminal storing oil, petrol and kerosene. And it's a key supplier too for aviation fuel for Heathrow and Luton airports. Well, the first explosion happened at just after 6 o'clock this morning. Then 2 smaller blasts hit the terminal around 20 minutes later. More than 100 firefighters were called to the scene. They say it could be days before the fire is finally extinguished. As we've seen earlier on, the skies in the area turned black with that smoke, which covered a wide area of southern England. The blanket of fumes was in fact so thick in parts that it forced part of the nearby M1 motorway to be closed between junctions 6 and 10. The motorway in the main has now reopened. Let's take you now live to Hemel Hempstead and our reporter Emma Birchley. Emma, how are the people that have been evacuated from their homes coping there tonight?
Well, it's obviously very difficult for these people, shaken from their beds this morning just after 6 o'clock. Many of them taken to one of these different evacuation centres across Hemel Hempstead. Some people have got back home though tonight and are boarding up their windows and doors and clearing up the glass and trying to get some sleep after what's been, of course, an incredibly tiring day. But now, the main news now is that in less than 2 hours, this huge operation to start putting out this fire is due to begin. 250,000 litres of foam concentrate has been delivered here by tanker from across the country, and that will be mixed with 25,000 litres per minute of water to create this foam, which will create a blanket and be put on top of those flames, hopefully to stop the oxygen getting there and eventually to smother them. They'll work from the outside, gradually dealing with the smaller tanks before tackling that big tank in the middle. 150 firefighters will be working through the night in 3-hour shifts, 100 from Hertfordshire, 50 from outside the county. So this really a major job, and that water having to be pumped from 2 miles away from the Grand Union Canal. Well, I'm joined now by Mike Penning, who's the local MP, but also happens to be a former firefighter. Hello, Mike.
Good evening.
Tell me, how big a job is this going to be?
It's absolutely enormous. This is the largest explosion that we've seen in peacetime here in the United Kingdom. And for the firemen, all the training and everything they've done in the past has come to fruition tonight. They're going to be in there doing the work which they've trained for. They're the best firemen in the world, and I've got every confidence in them.
Now, you have just come from families that you've been visiting. How are the residents in your constituency coping?
Well, there's no point beating about the bush. They are very concerned. It's a massive explosion. There's a lot of uncertainty going on today. They generally are thrilled now that we're actually getting on to fight the fire. I had to try and explain to them that we needed to let the fire burn so we could contain the outside so it didn't spread any further, and it has spread into our industrial estates, but that's contained. Now the residue down there, the heavy oils seem to have mostly burned away, and we can start fighting the fire, and I wish our firemen the very best of luck this evening.
What is the actual impact that you've seen today here on Hemel Hempstead?
Well, there's twofold. There's good and there's bad. I mean, without a doubt, this has worried a lot of people. A lot of people have had their homes damaged. There's a lot of fear here. But also, it's brought the community together. This is a very tight-knit community here in Hemel. We've got a lot of concerns about lots of different issues, and this actually is drawing a lot of people together today. So many people from my council, for instance, never got paid today. They came in to help. Volunteers from all over the area have come in to help, and it's done wonders to show what a great community we have here, and that we can stand up to this sort of incident. Luckily, very luckily, no one's died.